When I was 17 years old, I was assaulted by 4 guys. The pain was so excruciating, I thought I was going to pass out at any moment. I couldn't get up and walk because of the pain, and I had no strength in my body, and I had to crawl out of there. Welcome to Gymfit 50. I'm Donovan, and today we're going to have a very different video talking about important things related to being gym fit, using self-defense, and also having confidence in your life that is rooted and seated in a very healthy place. I was in a high school in South Africa on the East Coast, and to cut a long story short, these 4 guys, for whatever reason, I was a new kid in the school, and they just literally grabbed hold of me and they pulled me into this one room, and without saying anything, they just literally started hitting and kicking me. I can't actually remember if because of what they did made me fall to the ground. I tell you, being on the ground is not a good place to be when you're being beaten and assaulted, because literally you don't have a leg to stand on. It only lasted about 30 to 60 seconds, I believe, but the pain was just excruciating. I mean, I was, yelling for them to stop. I mean, screaming out in pain, but it didn't stop. And for them, they thought it was funny. I was wondering what kind of injuries I was going to sustain. And then it was, as soon as it happened and started, it was over. But that 30 to 60 seconds, I mean, it felt like an eternity, and it was terrible. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. And yet that actually happens to people on a daily basis, and worse. So that was a changing point for me. I realized that I needed to do something because I didn't want to be in that situation again. And that's when I started to do body exercises. I started to do, like, using my body as a weight, in essence, and resistance. And then she started weight training as well. So I did the weights, and and obviously my body, I looked kind of intimidating. I mean, in many respects. I mean, some people, it's kind of funny. When I was at college, they actually referred to me as the mini old Schwarzenegger. It was interesting to just see how people looked at me, how they perceived me because of physically what I looked like. Anyway, then comes Swaziland. I don't think any of us took any kind of medication to prevent any kind of sickness when we were there. But about, I don't know, maybe 4 days into it, I mean, some people were actually having issues. And I remember about a week after we got back, I had actually played beach volleyball the day before. It was like week after week coming back. And I remember waking up the next morning and my body was feeling like quite sore. So I just ignore it. Anyway, then the following morning I wake up and I'm feeling a little bit worse for wear. The next morning everything changed. And it changed for the next several months. I could not keep anything in, and my body was now in excruciating pain. I lost 40 to 50 pounds, and some of you may think, well, it's not possible. Well, I was pretty big. I was a big guy, very muscular, and the doctors later on actually said that I was actually fortunate that I actually had that weight to lose. Of course, I mean, I didn't see the bright side of that. I was in a situation probably about 7 years ago where, if for some of you who don't know, in America, 4th of July is a really big thing with fireworks. And even though in some residential areas they're not supposed to have them, and I mean, these guys, I mean, it sounds like cannons and shotguns going off. I mean, you think a bomb has just gone off outside your window or in the front yard or whatever it is. And there was something happening at like 12 o'clock at night or just past 12 o'clock at night. I mean, our windows like rattled. And so I went to investigate outside. I thought to myself, well, I'm going to, tell these guys off and give, tell them to take a chill pill. And when I got confronted by this one guy, and he was like about the same size as me, a little bit tanked up on alcohol, which gave him, a little bit of courage. But in that situation, I thought I would know what to do, but when faced with that, I had no idea. I thought to myself, so if he pulls out a knife right now, what am I going to do? If he tries to hit me, what am I going to do? And sometimes we think that when we're in a situation, well, I'll know. I'm strong, or I'll take that guy out. So with what I have learned with self-defense, I don't use it as a tool to try and be an aggressor. The one thing that we really practice is diffusing things. We don't want to get into some sort of altercation. But I know stuff now. I've been in a few situations. I was in the ER quite a while ago, and there was this guy. There was a bit of a misunderstanding between him and me, and he was probably about, I don't know, 6'3", 6'4". In the ER, you meet some interesting people. I mean, I was watching him, and I for the most part, I keep a 6-foot rule as well, in making sure that people, don't come in from that 6 feet closer to me, especially if something is looking out of the ordinary. But I knew in that situation, I knew what I was going to do if he was going to do anything. And I knew I wasn't going to be the victim in that situation. I remember when we first started doing this, that the trainer, the instructor, when he targeted my wife, and he would like do something to her, like maybe put his hands around her throat, and he pretended he really kind of went into that mode, like he was the aggressor. And she actually started giggling and laughing, not because she thought it was funny, but because she didn't have a clue what to do. Fast forward about 3 or 4 months, maybe like 4 months, and she was a different person. She was a completely different person. In the scenarios that we practiced, the drills, you could just see it in her eyes, you could see it in her body, the way she moved. It was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. And if you're looking to equip yourself with the technique, with self-defense, to equip yourself with strength training, equip yourself with mobility, so that you, when you're faced in a situation that looks dire, that you can defend yourself, it's well worth it. I hope that we never have to, and that for you never have to use some of these skills, but if you ever do, you have it at your disposal. Guys, this journey of being gym fit, I want you to really embrace it. I want you to embrace the fact that if you're not happy with the way that you look, then do something about it. You have the power to do that. If you feel like if you were in a situation like I was with these 4 guys that literally beat the snot out of me, if you feel like you don't want to be fearful because of something would happen, then do something about it. Start joining classes about how to train in self-defense. If you've learned something, comment and subscribe. Let your friends know about this as well. My aim really is to help all of us. And in some of the future videos, I'm going to talk about my health coach. And I have a health coach who really helped me to get into shape, because the ratio of exercise versus your eating habits is about 70-80% eating and about 30-20% exercise. So that being said, maybe in the next episode I'll cover a bit more, and maybe I'll interview my health coach, bring her into the studio so that we can chat and have a conversation about the different eating habits that we need to change and do, and so that we can be healthier people, so that we can actually be strong and fit growing older.